Thanks for joining us on the news this hour. I am Nifemi Oguntoye. The National Hospital, Abuja, has carried out 6 open heart surgeries in recent times. The hospital management, which announced the feat, said the operations were carried out in conjunction with a non-governmental organization, Hospital for Humanity. The Chief Medical Director of the National Hospital, Dr. Jafar Momo, says all the patients are in good condition after surgery.
The National Hospital Abuja, Nigeria, has successfully carried out open heart surgery on 6 patients. As we speak, 1 is in theater being operated upon. The idea to recommence our open heart surgery program arose out of the necessity to assist many Nigerians who cannot afford to travel abroad for medical treatment.
The operation is successful. She's working now. She too can talk to you because she's very brilliant.
The crisis that broke out in the Benue State chapter of the All Progressives Congress in the aftermath of the nomination and election of Governor Samuel Ortom has been finally laid to rest. Briefing newsman at the party secretariat, Speaker of the House of Representatives Yakubu Dogara, disclosed that all the contending parties have been reconciled. He noted that all court cases instituted by grouped party members over Ortom's nomination have also been withdrawn.
President Buhari's special appeal to the Benue APC family is to see the need why Benue State must move ahead and make steady and rapid progress, and why APC must actualize the dreams of the people for a better life, and why the leaders of the party here must bury the hatchet and work together to further the hope for a glorious future for this beautiful state that is known as the food basket of the nation. Mr. President believes that the people who can turn around the fortunes of Benue into a prosperous entity are all here in this room. He further believes that everyone here is concerned with the future of this great state and has at one time or the other made sacrifices to advance the cause of that state. Above all, he believes that we can all come to an amicable settlement to solidify the gains of our party in the last elections. It therefore only remains for me to, on behalf of Mr. President and Commander-in-Chief of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Muhammadu Buhari, to announce to you, our leaders, distinguished ladies and gentlemen of the press, and to the whole world, the Honorable Jime and Senator Waku have graciously agreed to withdraw or discontinue the case in court.
Stakeholders of the All Progressives Congress in Imo State have met with the governor for the first time since he won a second term in office. The publicity secretary of the APC in the state, speaking with CoreTV News, said the party is elated at the governor's reception and reaffirms their support for him.
In fact, in that meeting, he particularly also singled out for commendation. One of us in the party, the state secretary of the party, who had just been appointed as SSA to the government, for his very great performance he's already showing within the first few weeks in office. Yes, I must say that His Excellency talked about the allowances of the party people, and assured us that in fact, just as we're living, he has already given a directive at least 2 to 3 months of these allowances paid.
Darrow, former state secretary of the party, who is now senior special assistant to the governor on special duties at the meeting, received commendation by the governor for his doggedness to service. His Excellency is however called upon to remember other members, pointing Ibedaro's incredible performance as way paver. The Honorable as well gave his take.
The man you could give to me is doing well. That means other people from the party are also expected to do well. So it's a good thing for the party, and I'm sure the governor will also extend his hand to other members of the party to bring them on board and make sure that things go well.
Cool. Thank you very much.
Meanwhile, Imo State Governor Rochas Okorocha has assured the people of the state of the readiness of his administration to clear salary arrears owed civil servants. The governor, who was speaking at the meeting with permanent secretaries, also disclosed that the state will be training its top civil servants in Indonesia. The state head of service, Callistus Emily, spoke to newsmen at the end of the meeting between PS and the governor.
Because His Excellency recently, if you all know, recently visited Singapore. And from the studies carried out over there, it is his intention to commence a program of training permanent secretaries in Singapore, so that there will be some form of reformation, transformation, so that our system will get better.
President Muhammadu Buhari has handed down a 3-month directive to the newly appointed service chiefs to end Boko Haram in northeast Nigeria. The president says the chiefs will be held accountable on equipment and troops on the front line, and the need to improve on their welfare. He promised that his administration will provide all the resources and support required to achieve the desired directive. Pal Samuel has more in this report.
It is barely a month after their appointment as service chiefs by President Muhammadu Buhari. But the president is worried over the growing level of Boko Haram attacks in the northeast. He says he has visited some countries within Africa to solicit for support to stop insurgency in Nigeria. And to ensure an immediate end to Boko Haram activities, President Buhari handed down a 3-month deadline to the service chiefs.
While commending the efforts of the armed forces of Nigeria so far, you need to brace up and continuously team up with other stakeholders to come up with a well-coordinated joint effort which will bring a desired end to these insurgencies in 3 months. In the course of carrying out this assignment, you must be accountable for all men and equipment placed under your command. Your troops' welfare should be uppermost in your mind. Take care of them and make available what is due to them.
President Buhari charged the chiefs to respect the rights of terrorists when captured. This, he says, will help reduce human rights abuse. But he also wants the chiefs to take troops' welfare seriously if the fight against insurgency is to be won.
They abide with the existing newly enforced rules and regulations of international standards while carrying out their assigned tasks. In particular, you must protect innocent civilians in theaters of conflict and respect the rights of combatants once they are captured. This, no doubt, will earn the support of local communities and the respect of our allies and support of international community. Once more, I congratulate you. Get back to work and make Nigerians proud.
For his part, the Chief of Defense Staff, Gabriel Olani-Shakin, says the presidential directive to end insurgency in 3 months is a task that must be achieved. But first, he wants Nigerians to support the military in its quest to end insurgency.
The message for Nigerians is that we are on board and that we will strategize to ensure that the issue of Boko Haram is put to the past and all the menace is dealt with appropriately.
Would these 3 months be okay for you to push the enemies?
The president has given a presidential directive, and that's how it should start.
At the end, the service chiefs were decorated with their new ranks. The Chief of Defense Staff, Gabriel Olani-Shakin, has been decorated with the rank of a general. Chief of Air Staff, Sadiq Abubakar, is now Air Marshal. Chief of Army Staff, Tukur Buratai, has been decorated with the rank of a Lieutenant General. And Chief of Naval Staff, Ibok Ete Ekwe Ibas, has become Vice Admiral. Pius Samuel, CoreTV News, Abuja.
The House of Representatives has mandated the HADA Committee on Appropriation to investigate the extent of implementation of the 2015 capital project and the level performance of the Finance Ministry. This was after Patrick Asado, representing Usuka Imboise South Federal Constituency, had raised concern over the alleged unwillingness of the federal government to implement capital projects midway into the third quarter of the financial year. An attempt by the House Leader, Femi Gbadabiamila, to stop the motion was turned down.
The federal government to release funds for capital projects despite the 556 billion allocated for capital expenditure, while spending on the huge recurrent expenditure of almost 4 trillion naira, makes our 2015 budget implementation very wasteful and inefficient, depriving the country of highly needed basic facilities and subjecting our constituents to untold hardship both in infrastructure and economic empowerment, and has stunted the nation's growth.
That the date of enactment was May 6th, and the fiscal responsibility copiously referred to by my colleague gives this government 3 months, and if it determines that there are not insufficient funds, they can restrict and stop operation. It is there. So, on that point of order, on that point of law, I believe that this motion is premature because the government is still within its timeline.
From 6th of May to 6th of August is how many months? It's 3 months. Leader, it's 3 months. And nobody is saying this or that from the tone of the motion. That is what I understand. Imputations are not being made, even though people are capable of reading meanings into it. But the truth is that as the House of the Nigerian people, we need to know what is happening with the budget, because that is the most important piece of legislation that we do.
The Independent National Electoral Commission has promised to improve the quality of future elections by implementing the recommendations and report received during the 2015 general election. This, it says, is necessary because it would help to address challenges faced during the last elections and help to improve the quality of future polls. The INEC acting chairman, Amina Bala Zakari, said this at a meeting with resident electoral commissioners in preparation for the Kogi and Bayelsa governorship election. She maintained that mechanism will be put in place that would positively impact the conduct of the forthcoming election. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, has reaffirmed its commitment to investigating all pending allegations of corruption. EFCC Chairman Ibrahim Lamode said the Commission has not concluded its investigations on all the cases and would not invite anyone based on media reports. He was speaking when they received members of a coalition of 47 civil society groups at the Commission's office in Abuja. We'll take a break now and I'll be back with more. Don't go away.
Is it crazy or autocracy? Or what type of crazy is that? Except crazy.
News making the headlines.
Black Maria is to carry criminals, trading looters that are in government today.
Sometimes it gets confrontational.
Slap you in the face. Excuse me, don't put words into my mouth.
Whatever it is that will bring our military to disrepute, I say to hell
on Core Digest.
I want to know why I should be believing them.
Every weekday, we bring all of these together and take them to the court of public opinion.
Everybody has a right in Nigeria.
Where you are the judge. Welcome back. You can get all of our top stories on any of our social media platforms. On Facebook, it's facebook.com/CoreTV News. Our Twitter handle is at CoreTV News NG. We're streaming live on YouTube. It's youtube.com/CoreTV with a space and news. The Senate has called on President Muhammadu Buhari to direct the transmission company of Nigeria to reconnect Maiduguri to the national grid. This was on the basis of a motion by Senate leader Aliu Ndume. It also urged the military to clear Maiduguri of insurgents as well as provide security for electricity workers to reconnect the area to the grid.
Notes with serious concern the disconnection of Maiduguri from the national grid and the general power degeneration across the country. Notes with sadness the hardship and sufferings of the people occasioned by lack of electricity supply, which includes but not limited to 1. Loss of lives in hospitals and clinics without alternative sources of power. 2. Loss of means of livelihood by workers whose business are solely dependent on constant electricity supply. 3. High cost of production by industries relying on alternative source of power. And 4. The threat to national security due to inability to operate installed surveillance equipment.
When I was a governor in 2011, we had to make a very heavy sacrifice, even for those of us from the oil-producing states. We came together and we made a contribution of about $5.2 billion to the federal government in order to revamp the power sector. The states had to forego their own share of $5.2 billion so that that amount could be injected into the power sector. That was in 2011. And we expected a lot of returns. To hear that in 1999 we had 4,600 megawatts, and then in the year 2015 we are talking about we are celebrating 4,000. For me, it's a very, very sad development.
As we all know that lack of power continues to be a major setback in our quest to grow the Nigerian economy. And apart from corruption, no other factor has held the country back like the issue of power generation, transmission, and distribution. Nigerians want us to resolve this problem. And from the contributions of everybody, the 8th Senate is committed to play its role to us resolving this issue.
The 2 missing bodies connected to the helicopter crash in Lagos has been finally recovered. The Bristol helicopter, which had oil workers on board heading to Lagos from oil rigs in Ondo State, did not escape the ugly fate that befell them on Wednesday. Agencies including the Accident Investigation Bureau, Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority, Lagos State Emergency Management Agency, the Lagos State Fire Service, as well as the police, Nigerian Airspace Management Agency, and the National Emergency Management Agency have not ceased working since the incident occurred. Senate President Bukola Saraki has described the death of the Ooni of Ife, Oba Okwade as the end of an era in Yoruba land. Saraki, in a Senate signed by his Chief Press Secretary Sani Onogo, described the Ooni's death as a national loss. The Senate President also commiserated with members of the Olubuse family, people of Ile-Ife, as well as the government and people of Osun State over the demise of a king whom he said represents the best of Yoruba traditions and customs. Senator Saraki noted that the late Ooni was a royal father who will remain dear to his heart for a long time due to his deliberate efforts to promote Yoruba culture and tradition. Meanwhile, former Vice President Atiku Abubakar has described the late Ooni of Ife, Oba Okwade Shijuade Olubuse II, as a traditional ruler whose legacies on the throne will endure for generations. The former Vice President, who is also the Are Adimula of the SARS, said in a condolence message released by his media office in Abuja that Oba Shijuade's reign was epochal and in a class of its own. According to him, Oba Shijuade's wealth of experience in the corporate world, his wisdom and the royal candor he exuded, combined with the historical preeminence of his stool, made his reign a defining one. The former vice president also acknowledged that the demise of the Ooni of Ife is a loss not only to the royal family, people and government of Osun State, but also to Nigeria as a whole. He prayed for the royal family to have the fortitude to bear the loss of their outstanding monarch, whom he said had gone to meet his ancestors and for peace to continue to reign in Ile-Ife. Kwara State Governor Abdul Fattah Ahmed has also joined the endless list of people commiserating with Osun State counterpart Ogbeni Rauf Aragbeshola and the people of the state of Osun over the death of the Oni of Ife. He described the late traditional ruler as an icon of international status who bestrode the traditional institution with candor and panache. In a statement signed by State Press Secretary Abdul Wahid Oba, Governor Ahmed, who disclosed that the passage of Oni marks a glorious close of a glowing chapter in the tradition and culture of the Yoruba nation, describing it as a monumental loss to the country's traditional institution and the nation at large. Ahmed noted that late Oni would be sorely missed not only by the people of Ile-Ife, Osun State, but the entire people of Nigeria. He prayed God to grant the departed soul eternal rest, the family of the deceased, the people of Ile-Ife, and Osun State in general, the fortitude to bear the irreparable loss. Away from that, the National Publicity Secretary to the All Progressives Congress, Lai Mohammed, has assured Nigerians that President Muhammadu Buhari is determined to change the fortune of the nation for good. Mohammed reiterated this at a function in Lagos. He says Buhari is poised to deliver on campaign promises of taming corruption, insurgency, and revitalizing the economy. The APC spokesperson also noted that the preparedness of the current administration to ensure a solid foundation for smooth running of government is delaying the appointment of ministers by President Buhari.
Is also planning to fail. And this is why this government is meticulous, it is planning, because it wants to succeed. But I can assure you that even within these 2.5 months, this government has achieved a lot in the area of security, in the area of the economy, even in the fight against corruption.
Well, the National Universities Commission wants the management of the Plateau State University to put the necessary structures in place to help fast-track the accreditation of the school programs. This is against the backdrop of the inability of 2 sets of final year students to graduate since 2005. Governor Simon Lalong visited the NUC, where the Executive Secretary, Professor Julius Okoje, offered the way out of the crisis rocking the school that was established 10 years ago. The Special Task Team on the City Management in the Federal Capital Territory has impounded 56 bags of assorted hard drugs in the city center. FCT Permanent Secretary John Juku disclosed this on Thursday after a meeting with members of the task team. He reviewed that the task team found the hard drugs in a depot during a covert operation at Turubura behind Apple Roundabout. The Permanent Secretary noted that the assorted hard drugs, which were hidden in a bunker, were uncovered as a result of the vigilance of members of the task force. Well, residents of Jikoyi on the outskirts of the Federal Capital Territory on Thursday took a peaceful protest march to the National Assembly complex. They are unhappy with the demolition exercise they say is being carried out by the Federal Capital Development Authority and its task force. Basiaye reports that the group of placard-carrying landlords and tenants was stopped at the first gate of the complex by policemen on duty.
This group of both the young and the old are residents of Jikoyi, one of the suburbs in the FCT. They are here to, according to them, unravel the mystery surrounding the demolition of their houses and structures 2 days ago. This man, who says he's the scribe of the Jikoyi Landlords Association, recounts what he thinks led to the exercise.
The issue with those houses have been in the early 2000. And even apart from that, sorry, I forgot to mention this. Some of the houses that were demolished even have their landed papers. They have. I don't know what FCDA is 2. I thought FCDA is 1. They have even their landed papers. They have. And when you bring out these papers to present to those military people doing the demolition, they will tell you they are not ready to listen. They will tell you they are not here for that. They are here to carry out the demolition, and that is what they are here for.
They are counting their losses over the exercise they say came as a surprise.
Pass. When we come, nothing inside the Jikoi, we just continue to see so many different people. Say this one will come, say, see my paper, we have bought this place, and they will bought more than an acre, only one person. Are we in Nigeria?
When they came to Jupo yesterday, they surprised us by beating people up, demolishing their houses. Some of them don't have work. It is in that particular house they are staying. They don't have money to pay rent. Government should please look into this matter and help us.
This man also has a question for the executive and the legislature.
We need change. That is what our president told us. Say there will be a change. If it is demolition, will be our change. Let him tell us.
While these individuals believe that government policies and plans should be adhered to, they are also of the view that efforts should be made to cushion the effects of these policies. Basia Ye, CoreTV News, Abuja.
Stories outside Nigeria next after this timeout. Don't go away.
You can now watch CoreTV News live from anywhere in the world on our website www.coretvnews.com. Click on Live TV on our website and watch us live.
And welcome to CoreTV Primetime News.
To follow us on Twitter, click on Twitter icon on our website. On Facebook, click on the Facebook and YouTube to see all our previous news production. You can also watch us live on YouTube. Click CoreTV, leave a space, then News. CoreTV News, a 24-hour news station.
Welcome back. Fires are still burning at the site of two massive explosions in the Chinese city of Tianjin, some 36 hours after the blasts. Military chemical experts are testing for toxic gases, and rescuers have been told to wear protective clothing. Officials say at least 56 people died and more than 720 were injured, 25 critically and 33 seriously injured in the explosions late on Wednesday evening. Search teams did find one survivor in the debris early on Friday. The man pulled from the rubble 32 hours after the blast was named as 19-year-old firefighter Zhu Ti, according to state-run news agencies. 21 firefighters are reported to be among the dead, and several more are still missing. Fire crews were already at the site when the explosions took place, having been called out after reports of a container fire. Tianjin's Fire Department Chief Zun Tian told reporters that more than 1,000 firefighters and 140 fire engines are currently at the site. And at least 59 people have been killed after a truck bomb exploded in northeastern Baghdad as the blast tore through the crowded Jamila market in the predominantly Shia district of Sada city. The Sunni jihadist group said it was behind the bombing and that it targeted Shia militiamen. Meanwhile, medics say more than 20 civilians died when bombs dropped by the Iraqi Air Force hit a maternity and children's hospital in Fallujah. And out of sport. Manchester United goalkeeper David De Gea told club staff that he was not eager to play before being left out of the opening game of the season. Manager Luis Van Gaal will not pick the Spain international until the transfer window closes, amid speculation linking him with Real Madrid. United States two-time player of the season told goalkeeping coach Franz Hoek he was not 100% accused. Now the club, of course, Argentina international Sergio Romero stated on Saturday started Saturday's win over Tottenham. De Gea has again been left out of the United squad for Friday's Premier League game at Aston Villa. Out of favour, Liverpool striker Mario Balotelli will receive a six-figure loyalty bonus if he is still at the club when the transfer window closes on September 1, according to British media reports. The Italy international has not featured for the club since April 28. He has also been frozen out of manager Brendan Rodgers' squad and is not being allowed to train with the first team. Balotelli has made just 10 Premier League starts and scored only 1 goal since joining the Merseyside club for £16 million, that's some $25 million, from AC Milan in August 2014. He accepted a steep pay cut when he signed his 3-year contract at Anfield, but his agent Meno Raiola negotiated a number of add-ons for his client, including a series of lucrative loyalty bonuses. Well, Manchester City striker Sergio Aguero is racing against time to be fully fit in order to start Sunday's Premier League clash against defending champions Chelsea. City's top scorer with 26 Premier League goals last year missed most of pre-season due to his involvement in the Copa America with Argentina. However, he came off the bench in the second half of the impressive 3-0 win at West Bromwich Albion in the Premier League opener on Monday. Aguero was unsure he would have to take a place among the substitutes once again for the fixture against Chelsea, who were held 2-2 at home by Swansea City on Saturday. Well, the Nigerian, who came on for the last 10 minutes as his side lost 1-0 to Liverpool last weekend, could be out for up to a month, according to his manager. Peter Odewingie will miss Stoke City's clash away to Tottenham Hotspurs at White Hart Lane on Saturday after sustaining a hamstring injury in training. Manager Mark Hughes reviewed in his pre-match press conference. The Nigerian, who came on for the last 10 minutes as his side lost, is hoping that things get better for his club side. In golf now, Dustin Johnson made a strong start on his return to Whistling Straits as he took advantage of an early tee time to lead at the USPGA Championship. The American, who was given a 2-stroke penalty with victory in sight at the same course in 2010, shot a first round 66 for 6 under par. Swede David Linkmeth briefly matched Johnson's score, but ended the day on 5 under as the wind strengthened. Late starters Rory McIlroy and Jordan Spieth finished on 1 under par. 4-time champion Tiger Woods carded a 7-5 as he struggled to 3 over, and he faces a challenge to make his cut late today. That wraps it on the news this evening. Thank you for watching. I am Nifemi.